Hey there, and welcome to Goddess on the Rise. I am your host, Sarah Berg, and this podcast is all about empowering women, living in your truth, loving your body as it is, in your journey to self-love. You can find this podcast to be real, raw, authentic, and truth. So buckle up, girlfriend, because we are going for a ride. Hello, you guys. This is episode 10. How in the world has it been 10 episodes already? I have no idea. But since it is episode 10, can you do me a favor? Can you share my podcast with your friends and tag me on social media? Because that would mean the world to me. The whole point of this podcast is just to help other women. And I know I'm doing it because I'm hearing about it, but you guys, I need to get the word out to more people. I want the world to hear this. I want people to know, women support women, babes support babes, people support people, and it would mean so much to me. So I want to let you guys in on a little something. I'm not going to ask you guys to do something for free. Come on now. You should know me better than that. So here's a little contest, and guess what? This is exclusive for my listeners because I'm not posting about it on social media. So do me a favor. Post my podcast, where you found my podcast, why you love my podcast, and tag me in it. Tag me in it on Instagram or tag me in it on Facebook. And if you do that, I will pick one lucky winner to receive a $10 Starbucks gift card, because why the heck not, right? So this little giveaway, or I guess, kind of giveaway contest, is going to end April 1st. So you guys have a little bit. The more you post about it, the more entries you'll receive. So 1 post, 1 entry, 2 post, 2 entry type of thing. But don't forget to tag me, and don't forget to tell me and all your friends why you love the podcast, because I would love to hear about it. I would love to know. So I cannot wait to see what you guys are saying, and just to get the word out to more people. Anyway, today's episode is part 2 of health issues. And if you guys did not listen to part 1, go back and listen to part 1, because it's not really going to make as much sense if you don't. And I go into a lot of details. But before I do that, there's a couple things I want to clear up. So I've had so many questions, and I greatly appreciate that. It just really goes to show that you guys are really taking what I'm saying to heart. And I feel like I have a lot of stuff to clear up, but also some questions to answer at the same time. So one thing that is really hard for me to talk about, I know I just kind of skipped over it real fast in my last podcast, but it was about abuse, when I was a child. And if there's one thing I want anybody to know, is that abuse is never anyone's fault. It's just not. I don't believe that. The only person's fault it is the person that is committing the abuse. And I think that's very, very, very important to know. No one is at blame. No one is at fault. And if I'm being completely honest, I never even remembered a lot of the stuff I went through for the longest time, because I did have really good parts of my childhood. Shout out to my mom and shout out to my Grammy. They made me the person I am today, and I would not be here without them. And if I did not have a good childhood, I think that I would be a very different person than I am today. So my mom, I remember her working her butt off when I was younger. I'm not going to get into all the details of that because here's what I can say. She was doing the best she could to provide for us girls, and I just I could not thank her enough. I am definitely the person I am today because of her. So, Mom, since I know you're listening, I love you and I appreciate you so much because I don't even think I'd be half the woman I am today if it wasn't for you. But anyways, going back to on that abuse I had talked about in the last episode, I'm not going to go into details because those things are very, very personal to me. And for the longest time, this is going to sound crazy, but for the longest time, I never thought the things that I had went through were abuse. I just thought it was like normal. I know that sounds really, really crazy, but like when the primary person that is like picking you up from school and taking you to school and like dictating your life, is controlling a lot of things, like I'm not going to say like, I kind of was like sheltered. Like I didn't realize like other kids weren't going through the same thing. And honestly, if I did know that, I still wouldn't think anything of it. I just remember like very, very different times. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I'm still working through these things like myself through therapy. And I'm going to tell you, it's like not easy. It's not fun things. It's not like an attention thing to say like I've been abused or anything. It's uncomfortable. Really, really, really uncomfortable because I never thought that until I was talking to my therapist and he's like, yeah, like that's not okay. Like that's not okay that he said that or did that to you or I don't know. And like I said, I'm not going to go into details, but I want people to know like it's no one's fault. No one is at fault for that except for the person that does it. And yeah, I think I'm just going to have to stop there because it's just really, really intense, you know? I just know like growing up, I always thought I had a good childhood. And let me tell you what, I did. There was some parts that were really, really, really good. And I think one of the ways I coped was that everybody sees me as this positive person. I'm always happy. I'm always smiling. And that's what I feel like I took on that role when I was really, really young. And I think a part of it was just a coping mechanism that I had. And then another part of it was that I just wanted things to be perfect. And I loved that fairy tale world. And I am very much that girl that loves the pretty pink princess. Everything's going to be okay. Everything's perfect all the time. Amazing. I just love my life type of attitude. And I think that is okay. I think that's okay. I just think that it was definitely a coping mechanism. And I pushed things that had happened down so deep that when I started doing like shadow work and like personal development, I was like, oh shit, like, okay, I am the way I am because of things that have happened to me. Wow, that makes sense. You know, sometimes like when your body is like ready to work on things, things just start coming out and you're like, holy shit, like, I thought that was a dream. Nope, that's real life. And, you know, that's just how it goes sometimes. That is just how it goes sometimes. And real quick, I just want to read you guys a definition of sexual abuse because I think some people get it very, very twisted and they think the worst. And I'm not saying that it was the worst. In fact, I didn't even think that was what I had went through. I just thought it was something like, I guess I don't really know what, I just felt in the moment that it had happened and that had happened like several times and things that have like those occurrences that happened. I was just like, oh, I'm kind of uncomfortable. Like, I remember thinking that as a child. I was like, this is weird. Like, I don't like this. I'm not feeling right. This is a weird feeling. And so I really just wanted to read you a definition of what sexual abuse can be. Because I'm not trying to say, like, you know, what? I'm just going to stop. I'm just going to read this definition to you guys. So this definition is a legal definition. I actually found it on a .org and a .gov site. So basically what they are saying is that sexual abuse is unwanted sexual activity with perpetrators using force or making threats or taking advantage of victims not able to give consent. So I'm just going to say, like, when you're a child, you can't give consent. And once again, I'm not going to go into details of like what has happened to me. And if I'm being honest, I never thought that I had dealt with anything like that with this person in my life. And it wasn't until my therapist had said, Sarah, that is sexual abuse, that I was like, okay, things are clicking now. Okay, things are making sense. And then when I put myself into someone else's shoes, I was like, okay, yeah, if that kid told me that that person had said that to them, I'd be like, whoa, I would have intervened. So as a child, though, how would I even know that that's wrong? Like, how would I just tell, my mom or my Grammy or someone like, hey, this happened? Like, I just thought it was a normal thing. And I was always the type of kid that, like, I don't want to get anybody in trouble, unless it was my sister. And then let's be honest, like, I'm going to be telling on you, sis. Like, you know it. So anyways, I kind of wanted to clear those things up, because I just felt like I didn't want people getting the wrong impressions, or that, yeah, I mean, it's just like a tough subject to talk about, right? Like, especially when you're already talking about it in therapy and going through those motions. Okay, enough about that. Let's get to the good stuff. Okay, so last episode, we left off about me talking about, this is so crazy, about this doctor who was, I think, like 45 to an hour minutes away from where I was living, a little southeast Iowa. And this doctor I had to apply to get into, and she accepted my case. So that was great, right? I get there, and I just remember her, like, as if she's just, right? Like, I can't find words right now. Anyways, this doctor was very, very interesting. I can't even tell you how excited me, my mom, and my dad were sitting in the office. I remember them, like, all three of us there, and I was so nervous but so excited. And like, one of the first things, like, we talk about, my history with everything, with my doctor, and like, she is like on top of it, man. And almost immediately she's like, we're gonna do blood work, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, but I want you to know, like, you're gonna be cutting out dairy and cow products immediately, like no beef, no dairy. And she states that she thinks I'm allergic to it, along with start taking like freaking I can't even remember, like 500 supplements. It was so much, and it was really hard to take. I was just like super overwhelmed, but super excited to like kind of get started. So I did. But let me tell you, this is going to be so funny, but, well, funny to me anyways. I was like super devastated, because I was like, oh my gosh, Mom, like, I can't have Starbucks anymore. Okay. At this point, I'm a senior in high school, right? And I was upset because I couldn't have Starbucks. So my mom, being the brilliant person she is, she's like, actually, I'm pretty sure they have milk alternatives. Sure enough, we go to Starbucks. I remember right after that appointment, and we asked for soy milk in my caramel macchiato, and guess what? They had it. And I was good to go. As long as I had my coffee, I was happy. So yeah, I remember getting the test results back, finding out I was allergic to a lot of things. I was allergic to milk. I was allergic to beef. I was allergic to, spinach. Spinach. I was allergic to spinach. Oh, yes. This was such a big thing. Brewers and baker's yeast. And I was devastated because at this point, like, I'm not saying I was super unhealthy, like in the way I ate, other than I feel like I ate a very typical Midwest diet. And it was like at dinner, you had like a protein and a carb and a vegetable, and our vegetables came from cans. And we always had pork steak or chicken or something. Every now and then we had steaks, and then like just kind of like a potato or a rice. So it was just very, like just a very typical, I feel like, of a Midwest diet. So we had to completely change everything. And my mom and my Grammy were fantastic at this point in my life. Like, as I was learning everything and just kind of navigating like this new lifestyle I had to live, things started to definitely get better. I remember going to college though, and that's when like things started to kind of go a little bit back downhill, because I went to a private Catholic university and it was amazing and I loved everything about it. And I was in nursing. I was a nursing major. I feel so stupid saying these things out loud, and maybe it's because I've been married for like 6 years, and like I like looking back on my life, then I'm like, I would tell myself, what the hell are you doing? Straighten your ass up and get over it. But anyways, my boyfriend at the time, who I'd been with for like 5 years, something like that, ended up calling me halfway through my second semester. And I was in a sorority too at this point. And he called me on Valentine's Day to let me know that he had been cheating on me for a year and a half. So that was really fun. And honestly, I thought I was going to marry this kid. He was like the love of my life. I was obsessed. Like that one, like first love, first crush, Yeah, I wish I could have slapped myself back then. Like, seriously, get out of it. But anyways, so at that point, when I was on sorority, my girlfriend started taking me out. We started going drinking. And that was the first time I had ever actually drank alcohol like that. Like, I would drink to get drunk, black out, just trying to forget. And it's stupid. Okay, I know it's stupid. I know it's stupid now. But back then, I was doing anything I possibly could to not feel the way I was feeling. I wish I could just go back and shake myself at that point. But anyways, at that point, I had been working with my doctor for probably about like a year and a half. And I remember going to her, and I had gained a little bit of weight, of the weight I had lost. And my diet was kind of all over the place. I remember having fast food some, which, if you know anything about fast food, almost everything has milk in it. So definitely eating things that I was allergic to. And just really not giving a shit about my body or about my life, really, if I'm being honest. And I remember going back to her, and she told me if I don't straighten my shit up, that she's just going to kick me out of her clinic. So she put me in my place, and I feel like that was kind of my wake-up call, but not all the way, because I still kind of did some of the things that I was doing. And it was just it was a tough time in my life. But anyways, I kind of want to fast forward a little bit. A lot of that was a blur for me. And all I remember is eventually I met my husband, and he loves like working out. He is an athletic person. He loves outdoors things. And again, I was kind of heavier, and I was like, okay, like able to keep up with him and, be able to do the things that he loves to do. Like, I really need to straighten my shit up. So I did. And from there, it just felt like things had really went uphill. I was feeling great. I had lost like 47 pounds. And that's a little bit before that, I lost all that weight. That's when I got into Beachbody and I started working out, learning a lot more about eating healthy. I was following my doctor's recommendations. I was feeling and honestly looking great. My face was such a big difference. Like it was so thin, and I was like, I'm really starting to like feel good and look good. And it was great. I ended up getting married, kept following everything my doctor told me to do, losing all this weight, looking awesome. And then I moved to Virginia Beach. And I remember leaving my doctor. I had no idea what I was really going to do, but all I did know was that I was going to be in a new insurance. And that is when I was in TRICARE. Lord help me with TRICARE, right? Anyway, I ended up finding a doctor, was referred out for my thyroid condition. They automatically referred me to an endocrinologist. And let me tell you what, me and that endocrinologist, we bumped heads big time, big time. So my doctor back in Iowa had me on Armour Thyroid, which is basically pig thyroid. The common thyroid medication is levothyroxine or Synthroid, and I had been on that before. It did not work for me. The synthetics of them like just did not like match well with my body, and my doctor really didn't want me to be putting that shit in me. So it was an argue with her to keep me on that medication, but finally she did. I think it's really stupid that, you know, when you tell a doctor like you're feeling good about something, that they want to switch you. Like, are you kidding me? That's so dumb. Just because that's what everybody else is doing. That's what all of her other patients are doing. And she said, Armour is hard to manage. Like, seriously? But you can manage it. At that time, I started working with a naturopath person, kind of helping me figure out, you know, what all these other things were going on in my body. I wish I would have researched things a little bit more, and it would have saved me probably a shit ton of money. But I kind of was just blindly following people and not really understanding the research behind what I was doing as far as like recommendations go. But in Virginia Beach, for the most part, I kept the weight off, started working as a nurse, and, you know, everything was really, really good for the most part. And I don't really remember too much changing, like with my weight and how I was feeling, until like probably like the winter time. I started getting super, super sick all the time. And, but I worked for a children's pediatric hospital. Like, you know, you get all the germs in the clinic that they bring in. So me never being around kids really, that was tough. I was always sick. So I kind of took a little step back. And things were still going pretty good. But, you know, married life, I gained a little bit of weight, not going to lie. But for the most part, I was still feeling good. It wasn't till the end of Virginia Beach, the end of my time there, and Virginia Beach is where my husband was stationed, that I started to notice like I was having a lot of bloating issues like with my stomach, and searching for answers, talking to doctors, lots of upper and lower GIs. And one of the things that I've always struggled with is, okay, this is going to get a little bit TMI. I can't remember if I said it in my last podcast or not, but I had like a lot of internal hemorrhoids, like inside my colon and rectum. And so if you know what internal hemorrhoids do, they bleed. So I had a lot of scary moments where I would, you know, go to the bathroom and I'd fill the toilet with blood, and it was not, you know, it was not my lady time. You know what I'm saying? Actually, you know what? I'm not even going to censor it. Like, it was not my period. Like, Sarah, it's 2020, right? Like, you can talk about that shit, and if not, people can get over it. Okay, so it was not my period. It was literally rectal blood. So lots of upper and lower GIs, and I also was having a lot of like pelvic pain, and come to find out I had endometriosis like wrapped around everything, my colon, my ovaries, my uterus. It was really bad. So we removed that, and we removed my IUD at the time. So this is like June of 2017. Is it? Yeah, it is. Perfect. So that's kind of where we're at. So still having lots of bloating. And that's when my husband ended up deploying and I ended up going back home to Iowa for 4 months before we decided to move to Washington. And during that time, I found this amazing chiropractor, right? And if you guys don't know this about me, I am very like, I will try anything. If it's going to make me feel better, I will try it. And also, like, I am very holistic. Like, I believe in all the hippy dippy things. Like, I'm not going to lie. I love medicine. I really, really do. There's a time and place for everything is what my motto has always been. But so I went to this natural chiropractor, right? And he did like this nutrition program. And you guys, I wish I would have videoed the way he tested me for things that were going on in my body. If you've never heard of muscle testing, go look it up. But okay, I'm gonna explain it. I don't really understand it all the way, and I'm not sure if I 100% believe in it, but I was like, you know what, I'll try anything once. So basically, he would put his hand or a medication or something on certain parts of my body, and then he would test it. And if my arm went weak, that meant I was low in that thing, or I had that type of thing, or whatever. I know it's really weird, right? But again, I believe in a lot of that stuff. I'm not sure how I really feel about that, but I was kind of like grasping for straws because like I started at that point gaining a little bit of weight, and that was kind of hard for me. I still wasn't feeling like miserable, but I just remember like, okay, the weight is coming on a little bit. Like I need to be proactive about this. So I did this like 8-week program with him. And here's what's interesting. This is kind of why I do believe some of the stuff he was doing was he found a parasite. And if you don't remember, I actually have a parasite. Blood and stool test told me that it did find parasites in me. And parasites, if you have a parasite, it's very, very, very hard to kill because of the egg cycle is from what I understand. It's just very hard to kill, and I'm having problems with it right now actually. But anyways, I did this huge like nutrition program with him, and I don't feel like it ever really helped me much. So I finished with him, but I was supposed to continue taking the supplements, and I really didn't because it was really, really hard. One of the lovely other things that I know it's a lot. I feel like when I talk about these things, I almost sound like a hypochondriac, and I know why I feel that way. I know where that stems from. So I try to put it at bay, but it's like, if you talk to like the average person, I feel like they have a lot of stuff going on too, like medical wise. No one's ever in perfect health, it seems like. But anyways, it was really hard for me to take those supplements because I have so much scarring in my esophagus from acid reflux. Like, isn't that bad? That's so bad. When I had my upper GI, they had told me that like you should really get on some Protonics. And you probably should eat Tums like they're candy, but I know what those things do to me, so I don't take them. I know, guys, I know. Anyways, we're going to fast forward. So I get out here to Whidbey Island, and things are like, okay, feeling good. And then all of a sudden, things got really bad really fast. And now I know why, but at the time I didn't. And I was like grasping for straws. Like I was like, okay, I'm doing massage, I'm doing chiropractic. Let me tell you why. So me and my husband, it's beautiful out here. Like there's lots of places to hike, and we would be hiking and I would like not be able to move anymore. I was hurting so bad. Like my legs felt like they were on fire, and not like just from a hard workout. Like they literally felt like they were on fire. My back would be hurting so bad. I would keep having to like bend over to release it. And long story short, I spoke with like a primary care doctor, and she had heard of something called low dose naltrexone, and it's really, really crazy what it's actually used for, but at a low dose, it can help with a lot of things. And at that time, it could help with inflammation. And something about the gut, too, is what it would help with. So I started taking that along with a compounded thyroid medication. And you guys are not going to believe this. So this whole entire time, my thyroid has kind of been like all over the place. But guess what we found out? Armor Thyroid, which I had been taking for about 5 years, is coated in lactose. And guess what I'm allergic to? Milk. So basically, I was consuming something that I was allergic to like every day. No wonder why I did not feel good. Yeah, not cute. Why in the world, it was never on anything, I have no idea. But I think what has happened, is that basically when you tell a pharmacy or if you tell a doctor that you're allergic to milk, I think everybody just assumes that you are lactose intolerant, not that you have an allergy to milk. And that was my problem. I had an allergy to milk, not the enzyme, which is lactose, the actual milk. So I forgot to talk about this part. But in Virginia Beach, I had allergy testing because it had been like 3 years since I've had beef products. And I was just like, man, I would really like to try it. But, I don't know if I should. So I got an allergy test. And here's what this freaking allergist told me. Again, TRICARE, Prime. She said, oh, I doubt you have an allergy to milk. That's super rare. I'm sure there's no blood test that will diagnose you with allergies. So I know you're not going to have an allergy to milk. So we'll just test you and I'll just show you that you don't. And this girl ate her words, man, because the whole reason why she wanted to test me was basically to prove me wrong. And I proved her wrong. So they did the poke test on my back, and I was anaphylactic to milk is what I tested, which I've never carried an EpiPen around ever, and I have milk all the time, so I know I really shouldn't, but it's really, really hard, so there's that. And so basically she did tell me that I was anaphylactic to milk. And so I'm sure I probably am this still to this day, but I haven't been tested in a very long time. But anyways, we ended up switching my thyroid to this. It's called a compounding pharmacy, and basically, from what I understand, they make the thyroid there. And the doctor I was working with put me on levothyroxine and liothyronine. I need to do a little bit more research to kind of tell you why. But here's what I kind of know. Don't take this to heart. But basically what I kind of understand from it is something about the way the T3 and the T4 thyroid hormones are stimulated in the body, which is why you do levo and liothyronine. That's not true for everybody, though. I'll tell you that much. That's why you need to be working side by side with a doctor, an endocrinologist, or functional medicine dietitian. There's lots of moving parts there. So I, at this time, had switched my thyroid, even though my thyroid was still all over the place. And I was going to a chiropractor 2 times a week. Oh, no, 3 times a week, because come to find out, I had a twisted vertebrae, and supposedly I had a muscle that was torn, that was still trying to heal, and unfortunately, since it kept inflaming itself, it would pop out one of my ribs, and then one of my ribs was turned really funny. So that was causing a lot of my back pain, and my hips were I hate using the word out of place because that's technically not a thing, but my hips were just tight. So when your hips are tight, they kind of pull. So because of that, I did lots of massage therapy, lots of chiropractic. Let me tell you what, it actually worked. Like, I don't have that hip pain anymore, and I don't have that lower back pain. Yes, it cost me a fortune, but yes, it was worth it. Like, you only get one back, so, don't screw that shit up. Like, I will pay any money to fix that. And luckily, at the time, my husband was so supportive. He was like, I don't care how much money it is, fix it. So that was great. Anyways, continued working with my doctor, still having these awful bloating issues. And guess what else started getting worse? Oh, wait, I just said it. Bloating issues. Oh, my brain. Anyways, what else started getting worse was my weight. It started like creeping up there and creeping up there and creeping up there very slowly. Of course, no one could figure out why. Did tons of workups. Went to a natural doctor, like a holistic doctor. She wanted me to like do some crazy ass shit and pay a whole bunch of money, so I couldn't do that. And just like, I was like, once again, I felt like I was just grasping for straws. Like, God, someone help me, doing all these programs, doing this, doing that. Things just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse until I found this functional medicine dietitian, which I didn't even know was a thing. She was, I did a discovery call with her. And basically, we did a quick 20-minute talk about kind of the stuff that I had going on, what was going on with my life, and like why I was wanting to work with her one-on-one. She thought we would be a great fit, and we really, really are a great fit. So if you guys are interested in checking out her Instagram, which is phenomenal, it is Nutrition by Robin. I tag her all the time. But Robin is spelled Robyn. So Robin had me order a whole bunch of blood tests and urine test and stool test and saliva test, and basically everything that she thought I had was confirmed, and it's just kind of a lot. I had heavy metal poisoning. I had mold. We don't know if it's in my, well, actually we do. That's right. It's in my body and it's in my nasal cavity. Like, I've literally done nasal rinses and chunks of mold have came out. I know, not to gross you out, but for real. I have small bacterial intestinal overgrowth. I said that wrong. Small intestine bacterial overgrowth is what I meant to say. I have a parasite, and I have Helicobacter pylori. Is that everything? I'd like to think that's everything, but I feel like I'm missing something. I can't remember. But anyways, so basically a lot of shit going on, right? So she came up with an amazing supplement routine for me. She came up with an amazing thing, like, just basically everything. She guided me. She helped me. We're still working together to this day because my lymphatic system was so clogged with heavy metals that it took almost 6 months for me to actually get my lymphatic system to work. And what I mean by that is, like, I never sweat. And that's not normal. That's not okay. Like, you need to sweat. Like, that's one of your body's ways of getting rid of toxins. So it took us a long time to get my lymphatic system working. And then guess what else was sluggish? My gallbladder. I had to do this huge protocol to get my gallbladder to actually freaking work. And it was like super sluggish, and my liver was super sluggish. Like, everything was just working very, very slow. And let me tell you what, I have done the work. I have taken the meds. It is freaking hard, and I'm still doing it to this day. But I will tell you, like, I can sweat now. Like, when I work out, I get red and I sweat. And that's big. Like, I mean, that's a huge thing. And my gallbladder works now. Like, it feels, once I did the protocol for that, I felt fantastic. And now I'm starting to take these, my supplements and some of my medications for kind of what I have going on, like, all the gut stuff I have going on that I feel like it's definitely working. Like we're finally making progress, and it's been over a year. So like those are very, very big things. I never like to tell people the supplements and the medications I'm taking, just for the simple fact I don't want someone to go out and just buy it and try it, because that can be dangerous. But here's like one of the things I will tell you, like there is, definitely hope. Like if you're, feeling like all the feelings, just try to like, stay off of Google. Like, I mean, do your research, but I mean, Google is not going to help you. I, for the longest time, just thought I had leaky gut, and everybody told me I had leaky gut. Everybody, the naturopath I had worked with, my doctor, and then one of my doctors told me that leaky gut isn't a thing. And then just like, everybody thought I had leaky gut, but it was just like so much more than that. And Robin really helped me kind of like narrow down, like, okay, like you have these symptoms, but why? Why do you have these symptoms? Why did your thyroid do what it did? What is that connected to? It's just like very, very mind blowing that, she's so like on top of things and will explain every little thing. Like you can ask her why she recommends this, and she's going to tell you like 10 points right off the bat. Well, this, and this, and this. And it's great. It's like, I have always had such a hard time with doctors because, they do the same thing for every single person, but every single person is not the same. It's just tough. Like it's really tough. So Robin is very individualized and has just helped me in so many ways. And that is like one of the reasons why I've gone into, the school I'm going to right now, like Ayurveda Wellness and Integrative Health, like to focus more on like the food and the nutrients and lifestyle. Like those things matter, and those things can hurt you, like instead of help you, and when we modify those things, we can make a big, big difference in our life and the quality of our life. That's just as important. So I don't know. Everything that I've gone through health wise, and I know like that was like, 0 to 100 here, but there's so much more, in the middle there. But I've just dealt with so many doctors that are just, ugh. Before I had found Robin, my primary care doctor at Island Hospital, who I was actually working with also, like working with as a job, like a nurse, she had referred me to an endocrinologist somewhere else. And I just have to tell you guys about this experience. It was the worst experience ever. I had got up there and he looked at my numbers and he looked at my medication. He's like, this is all wrong, this isn't right. And I'm not going to prescribe this. And why are you taking this? And that's why you can't get pregnant. Just all these miserable things. And then this guy, an endocrinologist, had the nerve to tell me that I needed to lose weight, as if I didn't already know that. And as if I wasn't already trying. But I'm like, dude, like I eat healthy, I work out, I take my thyroid medicine, like nothing moves. The scale does not move. Like I'll tell you what right now, like if I were to eat donuts, cake, pizza, just like all like really, really bad food all the time, fast food, all that, my scale would go really, really high. But let me tell you, if I ate a well-balanced, perfect diet, my scale won't budge. I could eat 800 calories, my scale won't budge. I could starve myself and my scale will not budge. Like it will not go down. It's very, very hard. Very hard. And that right there, like that part right there is the worst part about thyroid. I try so hard to lose weight, to feel good, and I can't. And it's freaking tough. It's just completely tough. Like, especially when I look in the mirror and I do not see myself. Like, when I look in the mirror, I was like, the body that I am the body that I am in does not match like my personality, does not match like who I feel like I can be. Like I feel like I could go out and run. Like I have that power in me. I have that like motivation, but I can't. Like my body won't even freaking physically do it. Like I could barely fucking walk right now because of the stupid foot surgery, because of plantar fasciitis. Like I just feel so disassociated with this body that I am in. And a lot of it is directly reflected with my thyroid. So having that struggle, and then having a doctor, a freaking idiot doctor, tell me that I could qualify for weight loss surgery. And I told him, well, that's not my problem. My problem isn't my eating. I know how to eat. My problem is that I can't lose weight because my thyroid is not right. Like I'm taking the medicine, but I'm not absorbing it. It's not correct. So then he tells me that I should eat like 800 calories and see if I lose any weight that way. And I'm like, yeah, that's not going to happen. Like that's really dangerous. And he's like, oh, no, it's not. I'm like, I lift weights almost 5 days a week. Like I work out for an hour to an hour and a half. Like that's not safe. And I'm on my feet for like 12 hours a day when I'm a nurse, when I'm working on the floor. And he said that I should be perfectly fine since I need to lose the weight. And that, my friends, is how you fuck up your hormones and your metabolism. I want to tell you, if something doesn't seem right, if something's not sitting right with your doctor, ask questions. And if they can't give you an answer, that's a red flag. And if they can't listen to you and help guide you and have a healthy dialogue, that's a red flag. My relationship with Robin, my functional medicine dietitian, and my primary care doctor at Island Hospital is a dialogue. I talk and they talk. I share what's going on. They hear me and give me suggestions. But at the end of the session, the ball is in my court. I have control. It's my health. It's my body. That's my right. And I hope you know that as a patient. If a doctor will not listen to you, that's a red flag. Freaking run, dude. Run. If a doctor is telling you that a calorie is a calorie is a calorie, get the hell out of Dodge. Because I'm sorry, you can't tell me that one piece of cake is going to be the same thing as a salad. So 700 calories of cake versus 700 calories of salad, and it's going to do the same thing to your body? Like, what the hell? No. And I tried explaining that to this doctor. He said, 800 calories is 800 calories is 800 calories. And I said, yes, you're correct. He's like, so, you could eat a yogurt, you could eat a piece of cake. It doesn't matter. That's 800 calories. And I'm like, okay, but you're missing out key things. And this man tried to tell me no. I'm telling you what, there was no dialogue there. It was his way or the highway. And I have it's completely blown my mind. Like that people listen to these people, take their suggestions, and then still feel the way that they do. And it's because like what they're being told is not right. Like, and it's not safe. And I question this. Like, I mean, when you're an endocrinologist, I mean, do you have nutrition experience? How are you telling someone to have weight loss surgery? Or to eat 800 calories and be fine? But you've never taken a nutrition course in your entire freaking life. Why would you give that information out? It just blows my mind. So anyways, I just really want my story to help other women and men take control. Your health is your life. Like, I want to live a good life. I want to feel good. I want to be able to run and dance and hike and do whatever the hell I want to do and not feel like this way I'm feeling now. I don't like it. And so I'm taking it into my own hands and, I'm doing the things to get me to where I need to be. to where I want to be. And I encourage you to do the same thing. Ask questions. And I don't want you guys to get this twisted. I very much know that there is some amazing, amazing doctors and endocrinologists out there. And any kind of doctor that you need to see, there are very, very, very good doctors. Today, I had an appointment with my podiatrist for my foot issues. And that woman, she is my biggest advocate. I mean, she worked after hours, after she was done with clinic, to help get answers for me. And that's the type of doctor you need. I was able to go into her office, ask her questions, have her get back to me. She answered my questions. She asked me questions. We had a very healthy dialogue. She listened to me. She listened to my concerns. She addressed those concerns. She didn't just put me out to the side and say, oh, no, you're fine, or throw some Advil at me. She really did the work to help me, number one, understand my condition. Number two, make sure that everything she was doing was right. And then number three, if she didn't have the answer, she went and got it. She found it. She did her research. And she was just such an amazing, amazing advocate. And that's what you want. You want someone who's going to go up to bat for you. You want someone who's going to listen to you, listen to your concerns, and guide you in the right direction. And if they're not the right direction, have enough, pride and ego to set aside to tell you, hey, we're not a good fit. And that's okay. But let me tell you who is someone that'll fit good with you. And I think that's so important. So important. Just always, staying in your lane. That endocrinologist I saw had absolutely no nutrition background. I know this because I asked him. And instead of him guiding me to a dietitian or a nutritionist, if he thought that was a problem, he sat there and gave me advice, even though he had no qualifications to back that up. And that's not safe. You need to make sure you stay in your own lane. And, I'm telling you, if your foot doctor is telling you how you should eat and I don't even know how to take your thyroid medications, then you have a problem, because that's not their specialty. Their specialty is podiatry. So knowing what your lane is and staying there is so, so important. So I hope that hearing my story can kind of give you a little bit of a push to take things into your own hands. Do your research. And when I say research, I don't mean Google it. If you need help knowing where to go for research, let me know. I can put you in the right direction. And if if you have any of the issues that I have, or maybe even other issues, really highly, highly encourage you to check out Nutrition by Robin. She is on Instagram. Again, Robin is spelled Robyn. If you need to be directed to her Instagram, go ahead and get a hold of me on Instagram or Facebook, and I can show you what her profile looks like. And, you sign up for a free discovery call with her. Just talk to her, let her know what's going on. And let me tell you what, if you book a program or anything with her, make sure you use my name. Just use code Sarah Berg. Let her know that I sent you to her. And then guess what? We both get $100. So, seriously, how amazing is that? Both get $100 for, just kind of taking our health into our hands and knowing that we're in control here. And we're sick and tired of being sick and tired. But just know that you should be able to have that dialogue with your doctor. You should be able to be in control and decide what you want to do about your health. It's your body. That is your right. And I just think that's so and so important. And once again, I don't mean to just go out and question everything your doctor's doing. If you trust them, you trust them. But just know it is okay to ask questions. And a good doctor is going to answer them and make sure you feel safe, seen, and heard. Anyway, I hope this episode really, really, really helps you and kind of helps guide you. As always, my inbox is always open. You are more than welcome to message me. And if I'm being totally honest, one of the things I am working on this year is kind of being better about getting back to my messages. And right now, my messages are very backed up. It's moving time. So that's just kind of how it's going to be for a little bit. But I will get back to you. I will not ignore you. And hey, thanks for listening to episode 10. Don't forget about my awesome contest going on. This is exclusively for my listeners. Tag me on Facebook. Share this podcast, the whole podcast, to all your friends and family. Let them know why you love it. Tag me in it, and you will be entered to win a $10 gift card. That contest is going to end April 1st. I'll announce the winner, and you can enter as many times as you want. So one post tagging me, sharing the podcast, and saying why you love it equals one entry. Do it as many times as you'd like for more entries and a bigger chance to win. I look forward to seeing you guys all on Facebook, social media, sharing this with all your friends. Let's get the word out that this podcast is a safe place for people. And of course, if you have any suggestions on how I can make it better, feel free to definitely inbox me. So it's about that time. We're getting towards the end of the episode, and we do some affirmations. So here we go. My body is strong. I am choosing to eat healthy now. I am healed and whole. My body is getting lean, light, fit, and tight. I am filled with strength. I feel healthier every day. I can and I will. I am grateful I have the chance to improve. I am worth the time, pain, and exertion it takes to have a beautiful body. I am going to make me so proud. I choose health, happiness, and a love for myself and others. All right, guys, I really hope you enjoyed those affirmations. One quick little thing. One of them I read was, my body is getting lean, light, fit, and tight. If you don't want your body to get lean, light, fit, and tight, so be it. That's okay. I just saw that and I'm like, I don't want that to make someone feel some type of way. So you can definitely admit that one. Yeah, I hate that. I hate focusing on how you look. Seriously? Anyways, episode 10 is done, son. Oh my gosh. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Okay, I'm out. Bye, guys. Have a beautiful week. Love you all so, so, so much.